Now he's beginning the fight back against his disabilities. He's learning to control a computer by channeling his thoughts. Doctors in Atlanta implanted an electronic device in his brain that communicates directly to the computer and allows Mr. Ray to talk to the outside world by the power of thought alone. In fact, his brain contains 2 electrodes, 2 glass implants placed in the most active areas of the brain that normally control movement in specific parts of the body. By trying to move those parts, his thoughts fire off impulses in the implants, which are transmitted by radio waves to a computer and move a cursor on the screen. And that means the computer can talk for him, even if so far the messages are fairly simple ones.
I feel too cold.
A similar operation was performed by surgeons in Oxford almost 2 years ago. It was only a partial success, and they're delighted by today's news.
At the moment it's still very much in its infancy and is applicable only to a very few patients in a useful fashion. But I'm sure that developments of it will enable it to be expanded in its scope and make quite a difference to the lives of disabled people in the future.
Like physicist and author Stephen Hawking, who uses similar technology, in his case controlled by hand movements, to operate the speech synthesizer that gave ITN his reaction.
If direct connections to the brain can be developed, it will be a revolution for everyone, not just the disabled. But I wouldn't want to try it until it has been well tested. And I would use it only if I could control what went out. I don't want computers reading my thoughts.
But a computer to express your thoughts, that could be a huge advance. Lawrence McGinty, News at 10.
The report's still to come on News at 10. First, another startling medical story. 3 weeks after surgeons carried out the first arm transplant, what the patient can already do with his new fingers. Then the brothers apart since... Helen Wright reports.
Just 3 weeks after the historic transplant, with his arm still swathed in bandages, Clint Hallam felt well enough today to talk to journalists for the first time. He revealed he could now wiggle his fingers, describing the operation as a miracle.
Occasionally I get pins and needles or electrical impulses, and there's absolutely no telling when they come or whereabouts in the arm or the hand they're going to be. My mind never really switched off from having a hand. In the 14 years since I first lost it, my mind had been tricked into a situation of believing that my hand had been put on ice until it could be fixed.
Do you feel in control of that hand yet? Is it yours?
Very much so.
It took 13 hours of delicate surgery to connect the donor limb to Clint's upper arm, joining each artery, vein and nerve. One British member of the surgical team is tonight delighted with the patient's progress.
We have to say that he's doing extremely well. As you could see earlier, his hand looks perfectly normal. You look at the tips of his fingers, they look perfectly normal, good color, good temperature.
Tomorrow, Clint Hallam will leave this hospital, but with the risk of his body rejecting the new arm still present, he'll stay in France for many more weeks so doctors can monitor his progress. Helen Wright, News at 10.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu